Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art. Today is day 17 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Today I'm going to be making tags that are embellished with little pockets. So what you're going to want for supplies today is some kind of tag base. I'm going to use a digital of mine that I printed out on 65-pound cardstock. Now I've printed on the back side of mine. You don't have to have double-sided cardstock today. These are going to be tags, so you're ideally going to want some space where the person can write on the back. So I've printed a coffee dye digital. It's fully writable. You can still see your ink through it. But if you don't have double-sided cardstock and all you have is a white back, that's totally fine too. We can go ahead and ink around that later and it'll look just fine. And if you have tags that come in a digital kit, you know how when you purchase a digital kit on Etsy, sometimes it comes with like 3 tags on a page that are like pre-cut out into tag shape or pre-made into tag shape. You can use tags from digitals as well today. And so sometimes this project is a good way of using up those tags that you still have in your stash from past digital kits. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is find our cardstock that we want to use to cut into a tag shape or a tag that you want to play with. Second of all, you're going to want some type of item to make a pocket on your tag with. So I have some antique French ledger. I have some antique handwriting documents, and I have some rag paper from an old grungy rag paper book. So these are the things I'm going to make pockets and embellish my tag with. These cardstock pieces here are what I'm going to make my tags out of. Let's get started cutting down the cardstock. We're going to cut our cardstock into a tag shape. Now, I like to make these tags the large tags that go in my pockets. So for me, the tag needs to be minimum of 3.5 inches wide. 3.5 to 4 is usually where I go with my tags, and 6 to 7 inches in height. These are the large tags that go in the pockets in journals. So I'm just going to cut out the piece of this cardstock that I want to play with. So I'm going to end up cutting a couple of times because I want to get this rose right here. It's no big deal. Again, I want a minimum of 3.5. I'm going to go 4 on this one just because I can. I have enough space. So I've got a 4-inch wide piece of paper at this point. And now I'm going to work on the height of mine because I cut it from an 8.5 by 11 size sheet of regular cardstock. I'm going to cut this down to 7 inches in height. And so I'm just going to estimate there. That should be about right. I'm going to go a little bit over. So I want to leave room for like my thumb hole notch at the top or whatever I want to do there. I'm just going to cut off a little bit out of the bottom. Not too much. So I just centered my rose where I wanted it on my tag base. You don't have to be that fussy with it. You can, just cut out a shape. So a 3.5 by 3.5 to 4 inch wide by 6 to 7 inch tall piece of cardstock will work. Any type of pattern that you like will work. The reason why we're using all of these other items, these antique items, these guys, the reason why we're using these is because these are neutral and they will go with whatever type of cardstock that you have. It doesn't matter what pattern you have on your cardstock. Any of this stuff will always go with it. So let's go ahead and pick out what we want on this tag. And, I could use the handwriting. That would be good. It's a little maybe too white, but I do like this antique French ledger down here. So I'm going to do the first tag because we're going to make several today. Going to do the first tag with this on it. Just need to grab a sheet of that. I'm going to cut down a little piece of this. And so for the pocket portion, I'm just going to cut a strip of this paper. And so the strip that I'm going to cut a 3-inch strip of this paper. So whatever paper that you're using to make your pocket out of just needs to be 3 inches in height or width or however you want to say that. Let me show you here. Okay, so we've got that part done. And next we need our tag. We need our tag. And so I cut a 3-inch wide piece to go on my 4-inch wide tag. So that's one piece. Let's go ahead and cut another piece of cardstock so we can make a couple today. So I have this other one here. I've got this guy and my printer missed a little area there, but no big deal. I'm going to cut out the part that I want anyway. So I really don't mind that. So I'm going to cut right here. Again, I'm just eyeballing it and just going for it. All of these scraps I will totally use in some other manner at some point. So this guy I'm going to make 3.5 inches just to show you the difference between a 3.5 and a 4-inch tag made this way. So this guy right now, I'm going to cut off some of the top, not a whole lot. There's that. And I'm going to trim a little off the bottom. I just don't want all this excess down here. So this tag right now is 3.5 by 7 inches. This one is 4 inches by 7 inches. These are my tag bases. I have some ledger over here. And for this tag right here, this guy with the purple rose, let's go ahead and put some of this handwritten antique document. This is a document that was written in sometime around middle to late 1800s, and I'm just gonna cut into it and use it. We got to use our beautiful things. We can't hoard them, right? So I'm gonna do the same thing and do a 3-inch one on this guy. So just cut a strip. We'll use that. And from here, the rest of my cutting is done with my scissors. So I've got this combination over here, and I've got this combination over here. I like it very much. I don't want my ledger upside down. That looks good. You always got to look at the back side of your paper because there might be something better on the back side, right? Okay, so from here, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these papers, these pocket papers, and I'm going to double them over. Let's see, I'm going to double them over. I'm just lining up. Yep, double them over. So just fold them in half. I'm just thickening them up. Okay, so I've decided this is where I want, this is the side I want showing for my pocket on my tag. And then I've decided I'm going to do this side, this side after I switch it. So I just folded them in half. And from here, that looks pretty good. So right there, I like it. We're doing it. So next thing we need to do is glue those two pieces together. Now, you don't have to use your good stuff on the back. You could easily take this piece of paper, glue it to coffee dyed paper. As a matter of fact, we could just do that just because that's probably what most people would rather do anyway, rather than wasting, a piece of ledger and rather than wasting some handwriting. Let's just go ahead and cut these in half and we will glue them down to some coffee dyed paper. It doesn't have to be coffee dyed paper, but that's what I have accessible at the moment. So I'm just going to glue these down just to thicken them up. They're going to be my pockets on my tags, and I want to make sure that they are thick and sturdy. Even though, this ledger paper is really thick and sturdy, I just want to make sure that my pocket on my little tag is nice and sturdy so that things can go in and out easily. So I'm going to glue that to that. I'll line up the two sides so hopefully we don't have as much cutting later. And then we're going to glue this one. So if you're using a printed like cardstock, you don't have to thicken it. The reason why I'm thickening these is because the handwriting page is fairly thin. The ledger page probably would have been fine just to use, but for this video, we're just going to go with it. And so I'm going to line this up down at the bottom so I don't have to cut the bottom. There we go. And so at that point, you would let them dry. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them out. And we're going to move on to the next step, which is assembling our tag with our pocket embellished tag. I forget what I call it. Pocket embellished tags today. So pocket embellished tags, I don't need all that white, so I trimmed it down. Pocket embellished tags. They're going to be so cute. Okay. And so I am building up my ephemera box by doing these videos. I hope that you guys are too. It has been so fun to film these videos every day for you guys. And so it gives me a reason to get in here, and no matter what else is going on in my life, I can get in that what should be 15 minutes on camera, but really is hours of crafting. Not all the time, obviously, but sometimes it is. But I really have enjoyed it. So thank you guys. Okay, so I'm going to position this pocket where I get the prettiest part of my ledger. This is why I made these both oversized, is so that I had room to position because there is handwriting. Anytime you have handwriting, you know, you might want to shift it a little bit. So I did make them oversized. And so the next thing is I want to position them. I want to see, okay, what side do I like best? Do I like the side on the left? Do I like the side on the right? This side here has a lot of open space. So I'm going to position it where I get as much of this, you know, dollar figures over here in this column because it's ledger page. And then this one, again, I've got a little bit more white space over here. So I'm going to position it like that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut these at a diagonal. The easiest way to do that, if you want to use a trimmer, is to position, anytime you want to cut a diagonal on a trimmer, here's my trimmer. So I want to cut from corner to corner. Now, some people can just do it perfectly straight with scissors. That's probably how I'm going to do mine today. But if you didn't want to do it where you have to use scissors, how you cut a diagonal pocket is you line up the top corner in your cut line. So right here is my cut line. You line up your top corner in there, right in the cut line. And then you see how my bottom corner is not in my cut line? I need to rotate, keeping the top corner up here, keeping the top corner in the cut channel. I need to rotate my bottom corner into the cut channel. So now my bottom corner is in, my top corner is in. Right there is where you want to slice your corner. And what you end up with is a perfectly cut in half diagonal pocket. Okay, and this can be used for any size pockets, any size diagonal cut. I usually use this method when I cut from the top corner of a journal page all the way through to the bottom corner of a journal page and make really big pockets like this that cover half of a journal page. Anyway, so we've picked out our sides of our ledger here. Let's go ahead and do the same, and I will do it in here, even though, you know, you could just cut this probably with scissors. It's not really big enough to have to worry about. So I'm going to cut it like that. And what we ended up with is we actually ended up with 4 little pockets. And so now we have this situation going. These are my numbers here, my numbers and my other numbers. I guess this whole ledger is numbers on this one. So this guy goes this way in reality, and that's totally fine because we're going to use him. But for now on this one, I have places to put my pocket. I could put my pocket like this and have it be over here. I could inset it a little bit so that it's got a border around it. I really like doing a border around my little pockets. So I might do that with this one, but I do like this one a little bit better. So I think I'm going to do this one. I know I've been indecisive. Apologies. So I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to glue this little corner pocket onto the front side of my tag. We're not done here, but that's what the next step is. So position your little pockets however you want them. So this one I did going at this diagonal here. This one I'm going to go straight across the bottom at a little diagonal. Now I could leave a little border around this one. I could. This is kind of a small little pocket as it is, but I think I will go ahead and leave a little border. I'm going to set these 2 off to the side. We're going to use them. Next move is, if you want to ink your little pockets, go ahead and do that now. And since we just have a couple, I will take the minute to do it. While I'm inking, I will remind you guys, if you want to see 365 days of quick 15-minute junk journal idea videos, then subscribing to my channel, if you're not already a subscriber, is the best way to do that. If you subscribe and you click on the notification bell, YouTube will send you all my little videos for the 365 series to your homepage on YouTube every day. So they're right there for you. So you guys can just click on them and watch them. I know a lot of you guys are watching them when you're drinking your morning coffee or, you know, maybe after dinner. But I just want to say too that I appreciate all of you watching the videos and liking them and leaving the comments and all that good stuff and subscribing. Thank you guys so much for all your support there. So I've inked them. We're going to go ahead and glue them on. Remember I said I'm gluing them on with a little border. So this one is going on this way. I don't want to glue this line. I want to glue down the left side and across the bottom. And same with this one, down the left and across the bottom. So I'm going to put my finger where I don't want to glue. That's an easy trick that lots of people do. My glue wants to be difficult every time I opened it up. That's the problem, right? I'm in Arizona, and if we leave a ceiling fan on here, this art glitter glue, because it's so dry, especially in the wintertime, this art glitter glue does not love the ceiling fan, let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to just leave a small border right there. And we thickened it up so it's nice and sturdy. So there's that one. And then on this one, we're going to cut off this little bit that's going to overhang. But for right now, I'm going to put my finger where I don't want to glue, flip it around, add my glue, and I'm just gluing down the left side and across the bottom, because that's where I decided to put my pockets. Now, you could have put your pocket any way you wanted. You could have had your pocket going around the right side, going the other way. You could have put it up and down diagonal like this one. You know, you could turn your pocket and shape your pocket. It doesn't even have to be a corner cut. It could be just a regular rectangle pocket. Anyway, we've done that. Let's go ahead and take this little corner off so that we can see what our tag actually looks like. So there's our tag so far. Next thing we want to do is we want to cut these both into tag shape. Now, you know, you can just snip the corner like this. You don't even really have to flip it over. You could literally just take a snip. Okay. People stress about those corners way too much. My advice is don't stress about the corners. The next thing that we want to do is we want to punch our hole for our little tag up at the top up here. We're still doing some stuff to these tags. Hang in there. So we're going to punch a hole there. And I just eyeball it. Again, you're just, you know, looking at the top right here, looking at the top of your tag. Just evenly space your little hole puncher in there. Just divide up that space as evenly as your eye says it's even, and that's good enough. It's all good. Don't stress about all the little things, right? We have enough other stress in our life. I'm going to take the second to ink around these guys just super quickly. I just think for these tags, it's going to help them. And I did just re-ink this ink pad, so I have to be a little bit careful, but I think it helps frame them out and make them look more like tags. So we're going to do it. And I'm a light inker. If I do ink, I ink very lightly for the most part. I know we had that whole discussion the other day of who likes to ink and who doesn't like to ink. And so there's that one. And I will ink around the back too, but for the video, I don't feel like, maybe we will. Maybe we will on camera. But I don't feel like I have to. So I'm going to ink there. And I do really like that little border showing. It really, you know, it just finishes it off nice. So now I've inked around there. And you notice I didn't ink around my little holes yet because I have hole reinforcers. And this is my little hole reinforcer bundle. What I have clipped here is I have one of these antique brass ledger number. These are ledger page stencils. So at the top of that ledger page that I used to cut this pocket from, there was a stenciled little page number. And so I have several sets of these. And so I like to keep one clipped on here so that I can find it. It doesn't get lost. It doesn't get bent up. And so sometimes I will go in and I will use this little ledger number stencil and stencil a little ledger page number on things. So I just keep it clipped here. The other thing I have clipped here is distress sanding discs. These are like really useful things to have right at hand. So I have hole reinforcers that I've already inked. If you haven't seen how this is done, which probably most of you guys have, but you just buy these white hole reinforcers. They're Avery reinforcement labels. They come just like this. You take them, you take your inker, and then I need a little piece of scrap paper. Let me see. We have some somewhere right here. Okay, take a little piece of scrap paper. Take your little hole reinforcers and you literally just ink blend over them and color them in. It's super simple, but it makes them look more like like these guys. See, these are the antique French shipping tags, and they have that darker hole reinforcer. That's kind of what we're mimicking. And you can go as light as you want to. Sometimes I leave them like a medium shade, and then if I really need a dark one, I can make it as dark as I want to make it. Okay, so there's that. I know it's super simple, and most of you guys already know that, but I'm just sharing it. Okay, so we've done that. Next thing is we want to put our hole reinforcers on our tags. You can stick this in a glue stick. I have started recently just using the art glitter glue because I don't want to get the glue stick all over my finger. But you should stick some kind of glue in your hole reinforcer. I know it is already a sticker. It is. That's true. It's a sticker. However, it's a sticker that probably doesn't have glue that was made to last in journals for hundreds of years, possibly. So go ahead and just stick a little art glitter glue on it, and then stick that sticker with the art glitter glue over your hole, positioning it. It's sliding, positioning it right centered over your hole. Okay, so there's that guy. Now we need to do this one. How are we on time? Ooh, we're over time. Goodness, I didn't look up. Well, we're going to be done here in just a second, but I do want to add another pocket. Okay, there's that one. I'll do the back one later. But these are our tags so far. I have some little ribbons that we can stick in at the top. These are super long. But if you've never seen ribbon, like how to stick ribbon in, you have this long piece of ribbon. I'll be super quick. You have this long piece of ribbon. You cut it to the size that you think you want for your tag topper. Then you take your ribbon, you fold it in half, squishing that down as small as you can. Poke it from the back side of your tag, through the hole, pull it all the way through like this, open it up to a loop, put your tails through the loop, pull them through, and pull that as tight as you want. Now, don't pull it so tight that you rip your hole reinforcer or you rip your tag, but pull it tight. And then from there, you can trim it to size or whatever. But we have another one for this one too. Not going to show it to you on camera, but we have 2 more pockets, and these pockets right here could easily be put on the backs of these for additional, look, you could keep a little journal card in there or another little tag. So if you have plenty of writing space, if you want to use your leftover pockets, go ahead. And my advice is, since we did it this way on this one, maybe we would do it at a different angle on the back, just so that it would add a little bit more variety. I could easily come in and do this one at this angle, just so that it's not exactly the same pocket as the front. But that was my idea for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Have fun playing with your things, use your antique things, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for day 18 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Bye.